Shadow Creek opened a little more than 30 years ago. Mystical, magical, and unpredictable, this match play format. Tom Abbott and Kay Cockrell join us, and out there on the golf course, Nataliya Guseva taking on Rose Zhang, and Kay Cockrell is there. Where'd that one go, Kay?
Well, Guseva was in a tough position after a poor tee shot and just tried to lay up with an 8-iron on this par 4, pulled it left into the rough. So far, making a mess of this hole.
Okay. And Rose with the lead in this match.
Yeah, it's been a little bit back and forth, but Rose, for the most part, has had command of this match. Lost the last hole to Guseva's birdie.
Because even, let's face it, worst case scenarios in that front one.
Rose actually hit a pretty good tee shot, but it just trickled into the rough and does not have the best lie. This is a very difficult green. She has an 8-iron in hand, and I think because her opponent's in trouble, just trying to get this even somewhere on the front left part of the green. Yeah, this green is so firm, never receptive.
So Rose won
The better in the last 45 minutes. The sun is out, the wind's laid down a little bit. I'd say feels like 8 to 10 degrees warmer than it was just an hour ago.
So third shot here for Guseva.
Yeah, both players will have third shots upcoming. Rose will not have an easy chip from over the green.
Okay, I think at the moment. And even if you were a touch left of it, everything just feeds it back down. Okay. But at the mic is just fine.
Guseva's actually left herself with a decent look at the flag. She has most of the green length to deal with. 30 paces to the front, another 24 to the hole. I think there's a kind of a little ridge that's about 10 paces short of the hole that she may want to just land a little short of that and let it release back.
All right, so that...
Exactly. Playing it really more like a bunker shot.
Just don't want to go underneath it too much.
Oh, caught a lot of ball. And the difficulty of this course and the cold conditions with the breeze. Par is often third year on tour. Guseva, her second. There's no comparison. Rose has won so much golf at every level, and she is a match play wizard, very experienced in this format, having won a U.S. Women's Amateur, a Girls Junior, playing on Curtis Cup team, Spirit Cup, and of course a couple of Solheim Cups now. This 20-footer, it was a little bit uphill, but she sure gave that a good hit.
Just being on the wrong side of the hole there.
That's it. This is normally the 18th, I beg your pardon, normally the 9th hole, but they flipped 9 and 18 for this event. Back we go to the 10th, and this is match play, isn't it, Kay? This is to suddenly win the hole.
And more importantly, win 2 holes in a row. So much of playing well in match play is confidence and the momentum that you can build.
Rose is not in yet. Rose has a bogey putt, so Guseva from Russia played University of Miami collegiately for a couple of years, and Tom mentioned last year joined the LPGA Tour, was terrific in her rookie season, a couple of chances to win. And of course we know about Rose when she turned pro after winning the Augusta National Women's Am, and after winning a second straight NCAA individual title, won her first pro start the next week. This for bogey to tie the hole.
sneaking it in there.
Yeah. So she had the advantage after Guseva's first couple of shots, but they walk away with the tie. Rose stays 1 up through 10. It's day 1 of the T-Mobile match play from Vegas.
On what was to come there, but this golf course is tremendous for match play. Like, it really doesn't set up well for anybody's game in particular, and it really gives a chance for every single player to play well.
Let's go to the 11th.
Second shot here for Rose.
Tom, that's a sand wedge from 106 yards. 2 very different ways of playing this hole. Rose laid up off the tee with an iron, whereas Guseva pounded driver down the left-hand side and is very close to the green.
It's a really big hit from Guseva. It's just so difficult to get the ball to stop here, Karen. I was out there watching a bit of golf earlier, and I mean, there's just nothing those players could do.
That 12th green is just lightning fast. As we go back to the 11th.
How far is that drive roughly from Guseva here?
About 300 yards. It does play downhill, and it really ran out a long way. But I think that it was a great play if the flag was on the left-hand side of the screen. This is not any bargain. You're coming off a really tightly mown area. It's kind of like that extended collar that extends out 25, 30 paces. She has to clear the bunker and has to land this softly on the green. Yeah, she played to the left-hand side, which was very smart. Gave her more green to work with.
Still no chance to get it close to that hole location.
Rose Zhang for a birdie at the 11th.
Tom, this is an uphill 45-footer. Oh, wow. That looks so good for so long.
Not sure how it stayed out. It would be right behind the hole from where she was putting from. So that's going to be a 4, but the Russian will have a chance to take the match back to all square, all tied up. And Rose still sort of getting back into tournament golf, having concentrated on her studies for a few months at Stanford. Came back last week in Arizona.
Well, Tom, you talked about Guseva being from Russia. She is the first player from Russia to make it onto the LPGA Tour. There was a woman, Maria Verchinova, who was the first Russian to qualify for the LET. Certainly not a country that's known for producing an abundance of golfers.
Yeah, Verchinova played in the Olympics. I think she made a hole-in-one in the Olympics in Rio, didn't she?
So no, that's digging deep, Tom, into the memory banks.
Well, Nataliya just had to nudge that down there so fast.
They're both going to make 4.
To try to get this close from the left-hand rough. Ball a little bit below her feet. This is a tougher hole location on the center left-hand side of this green. Green slopes back to front. This is a gap wedge. Pushed it a bit right.
Yeah, she was aiming out that way, Kay. She was just very fresh to professional golf. I mean, that was a big stage to put her in, and she no doubt learned a lot from that experience and took that to Virginia.
She'd been a pro, what, 3 months at that time? And already had a win. All right, here is the goose, Nataliya Guseva.
Or if it doesn't go far enough, we'd rather just be ready. Okay? Tons of room left.
See if she can put her massive driving distance, a huge weapon, into play and take advantage of that. She was able to on the 9th hole, a par 5 that she was able to reach with a shortish middle iron. She just drove it 300 yards and has a mere 76 yards for her second. more like a 20-footer, and she's almost turning away from the hole and pointing to a spot at the apex where she wants the ball to start dying and move down to the left.
Yeah, you can tell, Kay. Look, if a player does aim point, it's normally just one hand where they're using the fingers, but she had both hands up there, so you know this is a big breaker.
Oh, look at that thing curl.
Really good.
And that's a beautiful putt right there. Anything within a 2 to 3 foot circle.
Well, let's take a look at what you were saying.
Here we go.
Double-handed.
That's 5 fingers. That's, I guess you can't, you know, it's harder to do with just one hand. It's easier to do it with 2.
If you've won on Augusta Nationals greens, then you may be prepared to win anywhere.
It means you have good imagination.
Yeah, Karen, you know, all the players, the best putters do work on fundamentals and repetition of their stroke, but once you get out on the course, it's really about feel and break and speed, and you put all that technique behind you and just get into seeing the line of the ball. Now, Guseva, she's hole high right. She still has right to left break to contend with. Uphill initially, then it starts speeding up. This to win the hole. That was a really good putt as well.
How about last year? We talk about the old line, driving for show, putting for dough. She was top 10 in both.
Yep.
Driving distance and putts per green in regulation. So Rose remains 1 up as they head to 13.
Zhang and Nataliya Guseva should be up there. There they are.
Tom, I don't think this par 3 ever plays easy, does it? No matter where the hole's located. But with the hole where it is, it's really difficult to get close. I think you almost have to land this 175, 180 more on the upper, try to land it on the upper portion of the green. Nataliya has the advantage of her length and having just a 7-iron in her hand.
Looks like the conditions have really improved out there, Kay. It was very chilly, cloudy. It looked like it was going to rain earlier on.
Yes, it's quite lovely compared to this morning. Oh, Nat, she kind of whiffed that a little, ended up on the very front right fringe.
To tie the hole and win the match.
Bit of an opening here for Rose. Guseva not likely to make a 2.
This golf course is playing like a major championship course. It tests everything in your bag, from tee shots to approaches, putting and chipping. And for right now, Rose with this 5 hybrid, just trying to get it on the putting surface somewhere. Par gives you a good chance of winning the hole. Struck that really well on a good line. Oh, but even that bounded over.
It's just a little too deep. I think that landed about 5 yards too much to catch that slope.
Yeah, it was a bit unlucky with the bounce there. Just couldn't bounce straight. This is Guseva at the 13th, her second, Kay.
A lot of green to work with, uphill the entire way. Gets really steep up a rise 2/3 of the way there.
Looks good. So that'll be a 3 for Guseva. And Rose, how's that one looking for her?
Oh, well, it's looking a lot harder after Guseva was just conceded par. This is a shot similar to the one she faced on 10, downhill lie, not much green to work with. And she did a really nice job, again, of just kind of dumping it out onto the putting surface and letting it release.
Seems like the rough, Karen, isn't
Just have to keep fighting, keep extending it as long as you can, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Especially on this golf course. I mean, stuff can happen really quickly out there.
great point. As usual. Here's the 13th again.
Yeah, Guseva watching Rose, this one to tie the hole.
When you're one down in the match, you got to see these out. Just about a 2-footer.
Yeah, nicely done. As Grant mentioned, played back-to-back finals, but lost both times, second of which was that 2023 final, as we go to the tee at the 14th.
And this T-Mobile match play just keeps getting better and better, Kay, every year. Got a great date, the best field they've ever had, and you've got rising young stars like Guseva and Zhang going head-to-head here today.
I'm not ecstatic with this driver off the tee as the fairway runs out at 300 yards. Pushed that a bit.
Yeah, she was late getting into that one. You could see the club was stuck a little bit behind her, couldn't square the club face up.
Keep it here.
Rose Zhang also going with driver, which I think for her today is fine. When the weather is warmer and the course gets even firmer, this hole plays downhill off the tee. And I've seen a lot of players go through the fairway. Rose looking to hit it at the far mountain peaks down the left center and avoid the bunkers on the right.
Just getting set up for a draw, okay?
Yeah, that looks like a really good line. Yeah, that was struck well.
Last year, Rose.
Yeah, the mistake made off the tee for Haydan Yu. Let's go to 14.
And the second for Guseva.
Yeah, that's a 6-iron on its way. All in all, not the worst place to hit from if you have a good lie. It gives you a good angle.
55's playing just over it. Like, you could start it at it, and I want it to go.
All right, so
I think she'll take, just because they're so skinny, you've just got to give the players an opportunity to at least land it and hold the green.
Guseva on the green. Rose is second.
Yeah, that was a 7-iron. Really sounded good.
Will it hold?
It's going to come back a bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Two good ones. And what's been a really, really good match.
Yeah, it's going to fall away. There's a little sort of hollow area down there on the right. I mean, it should stay on the green, but getting further away from the hole. You've got to, if you've blown this putt past or have left it way short, you're really giving your opponent the opportunity to kind of have almost a free putt, and it takes so much pressure off them.
You want to show them that you have command on the putting surface, and so far, Rose has been able to do that quite nicely today. Oh, that hill got her, and that is not a gimme. That's a solid fight.
Taking a look. When
Still
you're one
one
down,
down.
2 to go. You
Yeah.
say, yeah, I need to.
I'll see that one.
I'll need to see that.
Yeah.
All right, Guseva has a chance here, at least one chance, to tie this match.
This is a challenging position. She wants to make birdie, but this by no means is an easy putt. Drifting left to right and on the speedy side. Yeah, and she had to be, didn't want to be quite that tentative, but you don't, it's so easy to race putts 4, 5, 6 feet by here if you just get a smidge aggressive.
So Rose is going to have a putt to stay. T-Mobile Match Play Championships. here is Rose for her par at 14 to stay one up.
Well, the good news is you're not thinking about a comebacker in any form or fashion, so you can take a little break out and go ahead and hit it more firmly in the middle.
Okay. Rose stays one up. It's day one of 3 of pool play, trying to make it to the weekend.
A beautiful babbling brook that runs from up by the green all the way down and hugs the left-hand side of this fairway. It's gorgeous to look at, but you don't want to be in it. And this fairway tilts right to left, so if you pull something or hit a draw, it ends up releasing down towards that brook. Looks like Nataliya's gone with a pretty lofted fairway wood. She likes to hit a low driving ball, aiming towards the bunker, hoping it kicks left.
Oh, it's going to find the bunker.
Very similar swing to the swing she put on the previous hole, where just a little bit late arriving back in contact and couldn't quite square it up.
Didn't you tell us last year that it was called Michael's Creek?
Yeah,
After Steve Wynn's father,
it is.
Michael.
Yeah.
Steve Wynn, of course, who created Shadow Creek.
And Kay was out here. How soon, Kay, after it opened? Very early.
It wasn't too long after it opened. I actually had met Steve Wynn playing Bel Air Country Club in LA. He was then the owner of the Nugget, and he was building these beautiful, extravagant hotels, and he had built this and invited me out to play, so I got to play it with him.
High roller.
That's good.
Two putts from there would be very good as we send it down to Kay Cockrell.
Thank you, Grant. I'm alongside Nataliya Guseva. Welcome to the T-Mobile match play. You didn't play in this event last year. What are your thoughts about being in this field, playing Shadow Creek for the first time, and a match play event?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just in general, the whole Shadow Creek is just the most beautiful golf courses that we ever play, I think, on LPGA Tour. So it's a treat just to go and play out here. I'm just enjoying like every minute, so no matter like if it's a good or bad shot, so yeah, definitely enjoying it, so yeah.
You have a pretty challenging draw going up against Rose Zhang, who has a ton of successful match play experience. What was the mindset when you knew you had to go and play against her?
Definitely just try to be in the moment. I feel like, you know, match play is that type of thing that when you have to just stay in the moment and think about your game and not your opponent's game, and anything can happen out here. So I just love, you know, just being in match plays, because it just like cool that kind of a setup of whole of it is kind of like a tennis draw. So just love it, yeah.
I love that thought. Thanks for your time and a few of your thoughts. Good luck the rest of the way.
How about the strategy, Karen? Rose even talked about it before the week. You have to have a game plan.
And it's great to hear their insights as well, Kay. And not an easy job talking to a player during the round. There's certain questions you don't want to ask. You don't want to put them off their game. So, well, not an easy job. This shot out of the bunker, Kay, how easy is this one?
Well, it's good news is she just hit one on the last hole and hit it well. Roughly the same distance to the front. That looked like a 6-iron as well. Caught it really solidly. And she made both of those fairway bunker shots look much easier than they were, especially when you have to carry a lot of trouble.
Yeah, anywhere in that front portion there, Karen, is a good spot to be today.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just quality of strike, isn't it, from those fairway bunkers and knowing how far they're going to fly.
Now, Rose.
Right now, there's a bit of breeze that's helping. It's just picked up. Rose has pulled a 9-iron out of the bag, 146 to the front. playing at some altitude. And she got that, yeah, to sit down pretty well. It's all these greens are so firm. Will be. And a little unlucky. Her ball's on the fringe, but it's very close to the first cut. First cut isn't tremendously high, but you just have it in the back of the head that it's going to mess with your backstroke a little bit. Going to be a left to right breaking putt with some speed. Nataliya made a couple birdies on the front side to, along with 4 bogeys. And just getting reset with the break here. Rose has an easier putt because she's further towards the front of the green and won't have as much left to right to deal with.
Control. 15.
Putt to win the hole for Rose Zhang.
And this would be for Rose's first birdie today and go 2 up with 3 to play. No, she knew that was a really good opportunity to have a much better handle on this match.
Scary shot because the water is so quickly behind that ball, behind that flag.
Now, this has been a terrific match. Guseva still 1 down, teeing it up at the 16th against Rose Zhang.
And going with the driver, seeing if she can feed this down into the area past the bunkers on the right. Last year, this hole changed. This golf course, how you're going to play each of the holes, but you tweak it a little depending on what your opponent has done.
You do, and typically that comes down to if they've made a mistake or they've hit it into trouble, or they've stuffed it in close, and you know that you have to actually come up with a tremendous shot yourself too.
Oh boy, that was right to right. Going to need a lucky bounce. Maybe
It's
hoping
bunkers.
it ends up in that bunker.
Oh, it's over the
Oh,
bunker.
wow.
That did get
Really?
a lucky bounce.
In the fairway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Unlucky in its positioning because she has a pine tree, you know, 25 feet in front of her that she has to negotiate and hit under, and ideally hit a strong enough shot that she can carry the bunker, the left fairway bunker ahead of her, and ideally hit like a little cut shot. Well, she got the cut. Started out well to the right, and now will be in a tough position coming out of the right rough.
1 down, remember.
But I think she'll be looking to just try to chase this up the left-hand side and see how close to the front of the green she can get. Even if she gets it 50 yards away, it's okay.
This hour of Top Tracer technology is presented by Progressive Insurance.
Maybe a little further left than she would have liked. Of her feet, also an uphill lie. She was in between a wedge and a 9-iron. Going with the 9, has to ensure she carries this on at least 5 paces to cover the bunker. No problem getting up over the pine trees. This is a good line. Oh, wow. She just hit that. Yeah, awkward lie, ball below her feet. Almost fairly level. Laying that lob wedge open. Oh, she caught a lot of ball. Hit that very high, though. Was trying to only land that trying to land it about 5 or 6 paces short of the hole, but just caught too much ball.
It was always going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Expecting some right to left break. And again, Really just trying to focus on the speed and get this to within gimme range and force her opponent to get up and down for par to tie the hole. Yeah, really never got that high enough, but for speed, it was very, very well judged.
So Guseva over the green. Yeah.
That was a pretty generous concession.
That was
Say,
very generous.
Was uphill, but still.
I mean,
Scale of
this
1 to
thing is
10 here,
far
Kay.
from
What do you
over.
think?
Well, if the grass were not as thick and it wasn't such a downhill lie, I'd say maybe you're thinking of possibly chipping in, but it's just so tricky chipping out of this sticky, thick rough. Oh, she gave it a really nice try. And that's a pretty darn good 5 from where she drove it.
And so Rose remains 1 up with 2 to go. We've seen some late flips here on day 1. Guseva will try to do
Hard, much harder than the left one to keep it on the green and get close.
It's a tier, isn't it, on the right side that's separated by that ridge. And the upper level on that right side's a lot smaller than the area on the left. Still, pretty, it can be pretty tight down there, especially when the wind blows and swirls in this part of the golf course. Looks like Goose has settled on a club.
Yeah, she's taken a pitching wedge out, and she took it back about a club length to add an extra yard to the shot. Little 3/4 swing. Oh, is it gonna come back?
Yes.
Tom, how about that? It could have bounced even further into the rough, but instead snakes back close to the hole. One of the best shots I remember seeing.
the penultimate of the 16 matches, 32 matches today. And now 17.
And Rose on the tee.
Tom, Guseva hit a 3/4 wedge. This is a gap wedge for Rose. She's going to hit it full. Getting a lot more height on it, hoping it drops down softly.
Oh, too soft. It's okay though, but a bit of an advantage.
Nope, it jumped. You could see it jump from that first cut down to the fringe.
So that's going to.
17th.
Yeah, Guseva needs to make this putt. You're not going to get too many opportunities here, Kay, and you've got to take them late in the match.
Tom, if I'm Rose, I'm fully expecting her to make this and already planning to go to the last hole tied in this match. Now, this is not easy. She has to be very sure with this putt.
Well,
That was a pretty special two.
yeah, very good birdie at just the right time. So Guseva takes.
I think still trying to learn the golf course, and because she hits it so far, there are a lot of holes that she does not need driver on. And Karen, I would think this is one of them.
I agree, Kay. I mean, you can run out of room at 300 yards through the fairway.
Yeah, this tee is elevated.
Fairway, and that will keep everything short as well.
Yeah, that's why she's going with the 3-wood. And there's another miss to the right, and that is not going to be pretty. She may have a tough stance in that right bunker.
It's a hard hole from the fairway to get it anywhere near the hole. And we've already seen what? Bogeys win holes, tie holes here at 18.
Well, the players have been talking about why this golf course keeps you cannot lose focus, because the driving is not always easy. You have to play strategy off the tee. And then, of course, these greens being so difficult, you have to place it correctly, and being that they're firm, you want to come in out of the fairway.
It is such a dilemma, because as much as you want to hit driver to get a shorter shot in there, you're sort of really tied into not doing so because of where the trouble is and running through into the trouble.
Actually is a win for Charlie. So Alexa's is for par that she missed. As we go back to the 18th, and here is Guseva with her second.
She has shown quite a lot of prowess out of fairway bunkers, but this one will be more challenging because her feet are almost out of the bunker, her heels much higher than her toes. 8-iron in hand, trying to carry this 140 yards. Lie itself is good. She caught that pretty solid, but pushed it way out to the right. She almost had to line up to the right side of the green, Karen. Oh, no, the good thing is it's down in a little bowl, a little half bowl. So she can hit this a little bit to the right of the flag and even a little bit long and let it curl back around. The thing you don't want to do is end up way up at the top part of the green.
We haven't seen anybody be able to hold it.
9-iron. Oh, and that looked like it came up short. She did not strike that one like she has a lot of her irons today.
There are worse places to be, but both have missed the green in this match. That is all tied.
I think Rose has the advantage. She has a good level lie, and it's a doable bunker shot. I mean, to get that up and down, whereas Guseva has a lot of things going against her. The lie is sitting down a little bit. She's got a lot of right to left break. The upper surface of the green is where she wants to chip onto, and then the ball will quickly accelerate as it goes down, like almost like a roller coaster slope to the hole. Looks like she's aiming a little more to the right.
Yeah, not easy, is it, Kay?
No, and that's come out with a lot of speed. I'm sure you've seen that a few times today.
Well, that was lucky to hang up. I mean, I'm not so sure that Rose's bunker shot is easier than having to putt from that top level, from being below the green there, Kay.
Yeah, I agree. I think given putting from the back part of the screen, this is preferred. She has a good lie. Really taking some practice swings, loosening up her hands and wrists to really feel and try to get a lot of spin and a little spank sound at impact. Well, she just kind of gave it that little bit extra, but that's understandable. She did get that to sit down, but carried it probably a little too far.
All right, so a fourth shot for Guseva. Rose Zhang has about 8-9 feet for par herself. Wow.
Gave that a pretty good look at chipping it in, didn't she?
I'll say. Now she's fought back, and now Rose has a putt to get the full point.
Well, I think if Rose makes this and Guseva loses one down, she's going to take a lot from this match that she took someone of Rose's caliber and her expertise in match play this far. But Rose is a proven winner. It's in her DNA. She's looking to play this at least, looks like almost like a half a foot out left, allowing for left to right break. Missed it on the high side. That
Wow.
looked like a good stroke.
All right, so each is going to pick up a half point. And they are in the same group as Megan Kang and Alban Valenzuela, who are tied right behind them.
All right, well, Rose and Nataliya halved or tied this match, so each with a half a point. My sense is you're a bit disappointed. Talk about the flavor of this match today and how it ended up all square at the end.
Yeah, today was quite difficult. I feel like I had some good shots and then some bad bounces, some decisions that weren't great, and then the putter wasn't doing very hot. But then at the same time, I felt like I wasn't in the best condition either. You know, it was just a lot of tightness in my neck. So I'm pretty proud of how I fought.
What, did you wake up this morning and have an unusual situation with your neck?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I had a problem last week and then it like just extended to this week, and my neck problems kind of get pretty bad. So I'm more looking forward to some PT and then hopefully tomorrow. I think the cold definitely didn't help earlier, so I'm not beating myself too much on this.
Well, you faked it pretty well. You did hit a lot of good shots. Last week at the Ford Championship, you said you're completely unprepared because you've been focusing on schoolwork, finals from winter quarter. How would you compare your game, minus the neck, this week so far?
I feel like I put a lot of prep work into just overall my shots. So I feel like I went into this event at least saying, okay, well, this is what I have, and I've worked really hard to at least get myself in somewhat of a position. So I feel like I'm still very much progressing, but I'm excited for more improvement rather than being more discouraged about it.
Well, let's see if you can get that neck worked on and that it improves tomorrow. Best of luck tomorrow. Thanks for the time.
It'll be an all-Stanford match tomorrow.